What?
It's the Mark Twain Prize.
I don't have the money.
No, we're here for the prize. It's the Mark Twain Prize. We spoke on the phone a week ago.
I'm not here.
No, I can see you in there, sir. Yeah. It's the Mark Twain Prize. We spoke a week ago. Your 1 year reign is over. We're going to need the award.
Why?
So we can give it to this year's recipient.
Who?
It's Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah. She's good.
Yeah,
I really like her.
She's very good.
She's very funny.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can we have the award, please?
There you go. Just had it buffed. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Mr. Letterman. This is a Cable Ace Award.
Oh.
This is Damien.
Oh, hi. I need the bag.
Okay, Mr. Letterman, this is a puppet of you.
What do you have against puppets?
I have absolutely nothing against puppets, but we're here to collect the prize.
I'm this close to kicking you in the nuts.
I don't. This.
This is not it.
This happens every year.
There is only one person in the world who could inspire this incredible lineup of comedy greats to come together in one place. Tonight, Stephen Colbert, Bryan Cranston, Tina Fey, Tony Hale, Abbi Jacobson, and Ilana Glazer, Keegan-Michael Key, Lisa Kudrow, Kumail Nanjiani, and Jerry Seinfeld. Plus appearances by Paul Barras, Steve Carell, Larry David, Clark Gregg, Mary Gross, Ellie Kemper, David Letterman, Amy Poehler, George Shapiro, Wanda Sykes, and a performance by Jack Johnson, all to celebrate Julia Louis-Dreyfus as she is awarded the Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. Ladies and gentlemen, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Please welcome Julia's fellow Northwestern alum, Stephen Colbert.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. What a joy it is tonight to honor the great Julia Louis-Dreyfus. A woman who I sincerely believe is the funniest person on television. And keep in mind, I'm on television right now. And I think it's so fitting that we honor here at the Kennedy Center, the home of comedy. And ballet and piano concertos, but only the funny ones. Julia, tonight we celebrate your career with the Mark Twain Prize. Of course, every year, the Mark Twain Prize comes with two things: a beautiful bust of Samuel Clemens, and, as with any honor at the Kennedy Center, one Kennedy of your choice. There's some still really good ones out there. I'd go with that Congressman Joe Kennedy. He is a spicy little ginger. You're gonna like him. You'll be very happy. We all know that she's talented, but Julia is also such a lovely person. Here's the thing. She's so successful. She's such a giant in her field. She could get away with being a jerk, but she's not. She needs nothing from me, and yet she's so nice to me. And that's not always the case in show business. You Washington people, you guys, you're used to politics. But let me tell you, there are some terrible people in show business who recently switched to politics. Here's a little showbiz secret. Everyone I know in comedy has a crush on Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Everyone. Not a big crush, Not a legally actionable infatuation, just an adorable little crushlet that's not even worth telling your wife about until you're on stage at the Kennedy Center to just blurt it out. And it's a special honor for me because I feel a special connection to Julia. Our careers have been strangely parallel. She went to Northwestern University. I went to Northwestern University. Sure. She performed at Second City. I performed at Second City. She was hired at SNL. I auditioned. And they haven't forgot about you at Northwestern, Julia. No, I'm sure when you were there, you probably did the same vocal warm-up exercises I did. She skis easily beneath the ceiling of stars. Martha and Margaret walked arm in arm to the charming park not far from their father's house. Well, now Northwestern's theater program is so proud of Julia that all the warm-ups are Julia Louis-Dreyfus based. Julia Louis-Dreyfus tried to knife us, then wooed and chewed a gooey bouillon cube of typhus. Now, we're going to be hearing a lot tonight about her characters like Elaine and Old Christine, but I want to talk about a different performance, one that truly speaks to me, and I bet it speaks to a lot of the people in this room, too. I'm talking about Julia's turn as Jeanette Cooper in 1986's Troll. I was deeply affected by her performance as a young woman transformed into a wood nymph by a troll who was actually the ancient wizard Torok. Brava, brava, madame. But the truly iconic role that I want to celebrate tonight is Julia's performance as Selina Meyer on Veep. It's no secret that I love Veep. Not the actual one. He's good for him. I love Julia's show. I'm a Veep addict. Everybody knows it. After a long day of, the news, some people drink heavily. I watch Veep while drinking heavily. Julia's performance as Selina Meyer is incredibly funny, but at the same time, it's also so beautifully and honestly grounded in human frailty that when I watch her, I actually feel sorry for an elected official. That is not my typical response. But when I see Selina Meyer, I actually hope that's what Washington is really like. I hope that people are cynical and lazy and incompetent. That I would understand. Because if our real politicians are nice and well-meaning and informed, and they're still doing this bad of a job, then let's just give the keys to the Canadians in exchange for some of that legal weed. Plus, the way Julia delivers those legendary Selina insults. I just watch the supercuts sometimes. They're amazing. I can't repeat any of those here tonight. Because eventually, this has to air on PBS. So instead, my team at The Late Show put together a collection of Selina's best lines, but dubbed them over to make them appropriate for PBS. Take a look.
General George Washington could climb out of his grave right now, and I would rather
brush and floss his
wooden
teeth
twice a day. That's like trying to use a croissant as a
sandwich bread.
It doesn't do the job, and it makes a
delicious
mess. Hey, listen, settle something for me.
Okay.
You like to have sex and you like to travel?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you can
watch Rick Steves.
Because if I don't win the White House, O'Brien is going to sink your stupid boats, and you're going to look
for Antiques Roadshow.
So, can I count on your vote? Or do I need to
thank the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and viewers like you?
I will destroy you in ways that are so creative, they will honor me for it at the Kennedy Center.
And here we are. Congratulations, Julia, and thank you, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
My name is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I come from Washington, D.C., which is our nation's capital.
I met Julia because I was at Northwestern University. Every year I would do this thing called the Meow Show that was an improvisationally based comedy review. My senior year, she was cast, and she was just a freshman.
This your first play?
Je ne parle pas l'anglais très bien. Je viens de Paris, mais quelque chose comme ça, ça les aide.
She was serious and hardworking, and most importantly, she had the stones to stand up to us and take over the boys' club and make sure her voice was heard. She was good. She took a role and really polished it into a gem. She would just throw herself into that.
Nothing can stop us, not even Godzilla. Godzilla!
And then we were just informed one night that Dick Ebersol and Bob Tischler were in the house. The next day, we were summoned to some hotel where we were informed that they wanted to hire all four of us for Saturday Night Live. You're getting on a plane in a few days, you're gone.
The fact that all four of us are going together is the most fun thing for us because there's an ensemble at work here.
We were out of our minds with excitement.
Where are we going? To the top. To the very top.
Julia just worked really, really hard, and she was making it happen.
Bye, Chicago. Thank you very much for everything.
If we need you, we'll phone you. Go home.
Please welcome a fellow veteran of SNL and the 2010 winner of the Mark Twain Prize, Tina Fey.
With 11 Emmys, a Golden Globe, a Peabody, and 9 SAG Awards, Julia is one of the most decorated actors in Hollywood, second only to Johnny Depp. But a lot of his decorations are scars and carabiners, so it kind of evens out. I've always liked Julia, maybe because I'd like to believe that we have a lot in common. We both studied comedy in Chicago. We both lost our virginity to Brad Hall. No? Just me. Okay. Julia launched her television career on Saturday Night Live. Me Too, not hashtag Me Too, just regular Me Too. Julia was a cast member on SNL for 3 years, during which she created such popular characters as Cindy, the girl with a giant zit, El Dorco's date Becky, and End of List. But that's officially 2 more characters than I had. So you're up by 2, Julia. We both left SNL to do sitcoms. For Julia, it was Seinfeld, okay? And in the early 90s, at a time on network TV when actresses were expected to have great timing and great tans and great eating disorders, Julia made the bold choice for her character Elaine Dance to wear long, loose dresses, flat shoes, and oversized coats, and a center beret. Because here's the secret, Julia's not afraid to be unlikable. Not on screen and not in person. Which isn't to say that Elaine was a drab character. Elaine Dance was sex positive before we had a term for it. Hoarding birth control and realistically failing to remain master of her domain. Julia let Elaine be petty and sarcastic and selfish and a terrible, terrible dancer. But it didn't work, Julia. People still fell in love with you. And after 9 years on Seinfeld, men all over America were left wishing that they could be sponge-worthy. Seinfeld was the last true water cooler show, the show that everyone was talking about the next day at work. And now the closest thing we have to that is the president's Twitter, you know. Back then we had catchphrases like close talker and man hands, and now we have Pocahontas and horseface. It's fun. It's a fun time. By the way, I think, people think of Seinfeld as a classic comedy series with the most quotable jokes of all time, but people forget that the show also pioneered some of the worst pregnancy hiding in television history. Judging by the number of episodes where Julia is carrying a grocery bag and stuff, I'm guessing that she and Brad have 11 children? I don't know. I should be honest, however, Julia and I don't really know each other that well. We haven't ever gone to dinner together, and the few times I've been in her house, she was asleep. But like other women in comedy, I've always felt a kinship with her. We know each other's experience without having to say too much. We both know what it's like to come up in the improv comedy world where if you were one of the few women, you didn't get past the ball that often. So when you did get the ball, you had to score or you wouldn't get that ball again. That was a sports metaphor. And I know that because I had a Chicago boyfriend. Julia and I both know what it's like to work long hours on your life-changing TV show and then go home and step immediately into the vortex of need with your young children. Because children really don't care how the table read went. They just want more milk in their Cheerios. Which, not to be preachy here, children always want too much milk in their cereal, and they never finish it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I promised I would not get political tonight. Anyway, we have so much in common. Julia and I get our award show gowns from the same lady, right? I noticed she didn't give you one of these tonight, but better luck next time. Just in case your arm gets shy. We've both won Emmys for playing people who should never be vice president. Julia has been a tremendous role model for me as a comedic actress, and if I had to pick which of her many skills I admire most, I would say that it is her secret precision. It's her ability to appear completely effortless and natural on the surface while being a stone-cold machine of timing underneath it. Julia is a Terminator robot of comedy. That's why she doesn't age. Metal bones, rubber eyes. Julia is a great role model for women, yes, okay, sure, but also she is just a great role model for all human beings. She's a tireless advocate for women's health and the environment and a bunch of other stuff that won't exist pretty soon. Julia, it really is an honor to be here to celebrate you tonight. You deserve this award, and not just because we're pretty sure that you never took your genitals out at work. Congratulations, I love you.
And now it's time for the Julia Show with your host, Julia. Hi, thank you. I'm Julia, and welcome to my show, The Julia Show. Okay, so let's talk about me.
I don't want to overdo it, but she was like a goddess. She was, that's a very strong word to use, but she was pretty, she was smart, she had perfect teeth, she had perfect timing.
In fact, many of the first homesteaders were women.
She was gifted, obviously.
You know, I just flew in from LA this morning, but my arms aren't tired because I flew with Jesus. Praise the Lord.
But they weren't utilizing her gifts as they should have. It was a boys' club. I know that sounds like a cliche.
Someday, we're gonna...
Calvin Klein cream pies. For girls you hate.
Doesn't mean that we weren't taken care of sometimes and we took care of ourselves.
We're truck driving women and we're here to fade you down.
Meet Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I love doing this show because I get the opportunity to make political and social comments while still being feminine.
Julia is so strong. She knows how to take care of herself. Julia wasn't a person to be defeated. I just love her.
It is our honor to welcome the creator of the Mark Twain Prize, Mark Twain.
Welcome, everybody, to the Me Prize for American Humor. Now, when I was growing up a small white boy in Hannibal, Missouri, I never thought that one day I'd find myself handing out a likeness of my own head to trailblazers of tomfoolery, bastions of buffoonery, and in this particular case, a heroine of Herculean humor. Tonight, I've chosen Julia to follow in a long lineage of distinguished recipients, such as William James Murray. He showed us how humor and precise filmic performance can work together to create one classic work after another. From his iconic turn in the summer camp retrospective Meatballs to his boundary-pushing, hauntingly beautiful performance in Garfield. Yeah. Now, I've never seen it, but my friends in Hale tell me it's wonderful. Oh, Elizabeth Stammertina Fay. You are one of the most talented comedic minds of a generation, proven by your extended cachet of entertainment feats, all the way from being the first female writer on Saturday Night Live to making Alec Baldwin tolerable. I love Mr. Collins, yes indeed. Mr. Collins' list of dirty words. But now, get your beep ready, y'all, because I'm going to share some of my favorites. Bootlicker, strumpet, tarnation, blazes, Dickens, and lick spittle. Take that, PBS. All right. Edward Reagan Murphy. Yes. He's a brilliant, multi-talented individual whose character work is unsurpassed. I mean, a Negro police officer. Hysterical. Oh, dear. What's next? A Negro doctor? Oh, dear. No, we can skip this one. Skip it. I'm sure. Just skip it. Skip it. It's okay. He's not watching. No. And now, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I bestow this award upon you this great night because of your decades-long commitment to your craft, for your wit, and for your kindness. You possess a combination of brilliance, beauty, and bravado which knows no bounds. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you tonight. Julia. Thank you.
How was your date?
Let's see. How shall I put this?
Well, just put it.
He took it out.
Julia was recommended to Jerry by Larry David, who worked with her on Saturday Night Live. Larry just loved her, and I don't even think she read for it. She just had a meeting with Jerry. Chemistry was so great. Just made in heaven.
He what?
He took it out.
He took it out?
Yes, sirree, Bob.
Larry and Jerry's vision was Julia could be one of the guys.
I want to be in on this, too.
This is 4 friends, equal footing, living in New York City. Explosive comedy with no learning and no hugging.
You faked with me?
Yeah.
You faked with me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You faked it.
I faked.
What about the breathing, the panting, the moaning, the screaming?
Fake.
Fake. And she got screams. I mean, her delivery was just supernatural.
You don't think she'd yada yada sex?
I've yada yada sex.
Really?
Yeah. I met this lawyer. We went out to dinner. I had the lobster bisque. We went back to my place. Yada yada yada. I never heard from him again.
But you yada yada over the best part.
No, I mentioned the bisque.
I think Julia was so impactful, so funny. And the character of Elaine Dance was one of the guys, and that was like a direct segue, into a powerhouse woman in comedy, scoring big.
Are you still master of your domain?
I'm queen of the castle.
Oh, Elaine. Oh.
Please welcome Bryan Cranston.
Good evening. Seinfeld. What a groundbreaking show. And while the show achieved tremendous success, its 2 biggest stars had to break out from being typecast. Let's take a look at Seinfeld's 2 biggest stars at the height of the series' success from this archival photo. There they are. The 2 biggest stars. Whatley. This night belongs to Julia and me. It is uncanny how the two of us have so much in common that we both chose the same path to our way to break the mold, to reinvent ourselves, to be seen not just as two people who enabled Jerry Seinfeld to buy 53 Porsches. Julia and I needed to be seen as actors with range. And by coincidence, we both developed very similar, deeply complex characters. There was the nice person turned bad, who was an out-of-control, ruthless, unlikable psychopath, as depicted in Julia's character, Selena Meyer, on Veep. And I went on to play the brilliantly diabolical but insanely good-looking leading man, Walter White, on Breaking Bad. You're welcome. It was obvious to me that Julia carefully studied my success on Breaking Bad and decided to channel that for her derivative, Selena Meyer. I am actually fine with Julia channeling her character because in her mind, we're very close. We're like cousins. We're like kissing cousins, or maybe just the kissing part. It was, shall we say, awkward? Brad Hall called me later, not to warn me to stop kissing his wife, but to ask for instructions about how to be a better kisser. I hope I helped. And given how much we share, people are saying, it is only right that we share this award too. Now, I would not say that, but she would.
Please welcome the co-winner of the 2018 Mark Twain Prize, Bryan Cranston.
Oh my God! I can't believe this. My goodness, I really don't know what to say. I didn't see this coming, but just in case, I wrote a little thing. Actually, I don't need a prop to tell you what I think of Julia. I just think you're the cat's meow. I do. I think you're the loveliest person who also happens to be immensely gifted. Your sharp, comedic, and often cutting wit belies the grace and dignity that lies beneath as a testament to your life's foundation. I'm glad I was here to be able to contribute what little I could tonight so that we can honor a very honorable person. I love you, and congratulations.
Hello, I'm Larry David, sometimes known as Mr. Wonderful. Sorry I can't be with you tonight, but, you are 3,000 miles away, and I'm kind of lazy, so it's not a good combination to get me off a chair. But I have to say, I've noticed in my life that good things seem to happen when I'm not there. Like if there's a party and I leave early, friends invariably call me the next day and say, I can't believe you left early. People are jumping in the pool naked. It got crazy. So in a way, my absence tonight kind of guarantees a fantastic evening. Actually, you should all be thanking me for not showing up. I'm doing you a big favor. Big. But anyway, I want to congratulate Julia for this unbelievably prestigious award. But I got to say, the lengths that she went through to get it. Frankly, I was a little surprised. I mean, come on. That old cancer thing? Cancer? Honestly, I got to take my hat off to her. What a scam. It's diabolical. I'm a little jealous that I didn't think of it because that is right up my alley. And, she's such a great actress. She really committed to it. I mean, she almost had me going for a second. I got to say, she's done some incredible acting work. What a career. SNL, Seinfeld, Christine, Veep, Emmys galore. But nothing tops this cancer performance. I stand in awe. By the way, as long as I'm here, I would like to mention to the Mark Twain Committee that I did go to the doctor last week, and they did some tests. I'm waiting to hear. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Sure, it's nothing. Anyway, if something should ever happen to me, God forbid, I'll always treasure my friendship with Julia and the master stroke of luck that brought us together. Working with her was like being in charge of the Hope Diamond. I felt vastly protective and constantly in awe, a condition in which I still remain to this day. Congratulations, Julia. I love you.
Please welcome Keegan-Michael Key.
I made a quick change, made it out. Okay. Wow, what an amazing room.
Keegan.
Yeah, Tony. I'm in the middle of something.
Just get.
What?
It's just right here, buddy. It's right. No,
okay.
It's on, you got your mustache on, man. Still, you still have your mustache.
Oh, the mustache. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh shoot. Okay. Oh, now I understand. That's why the Proud Boys didn't try to beat me up outside. Okay. See, men have it easy. It's the women, like Julia, who have fought to create a path for other women to follow, open doors, and change the dynamic. I would like to congratulate her for being on one of the most socially influential and longest-running television series ever, Seinfeld. Now that I live in New York City and I'm married to a Jewish woman, the show is the greatest thing of all time. Everything is clear to me now, everything. Seriously, I'm blessed to be married to a wonderful producer, director, writer, and I'm now learning about the challenges that she and other women face every day. But those challenges are easier for her, and frankly, for everyone of her generation in this business, because of the barriers broken down and the ceiling shattered by Julia. Yes. So congratulations, my dear, on this honor. We love you very much. Good.
Julia has inspired so many people, women and men, because I'll get it. Hold on.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus has an energy to her that I haven't seen in anyone else. And I don't mean that I admire her only as a comedic actress, but also as a person. And I don't know her as a person, and yet she still inspires me. I just think that she's an incredibly strong woman.
Oh my God, that is so great for me.
And the country?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
JLD is, for me, the BLT of comedy. She's my favorite sandwich. Does that make sense?
She manages to make unlikable people tolerable because it's she who is playing them.
You didn't say yes.
No, I didn't say yes. I said, yeah.
Truly, I'm inspired by her work, her body of work, and what you get to know really fast when you meet Julia is that she's a pro.
You can't stop watching her, and I don't know how she does it. It's a little bit of a magic trick. I'm so happy to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus's name as a producer when the Veep credits roll, because it's so important for women to be in that position, to be producing, to be directing, and it's crucial to have those positions in order to promote women.
Yeah. And if we've learned anything, you know what I mean?
To honor their hero, from Broad City, Abbi Jacobson and Ilana Glazer.
We are here tonight to bring offerings and blessings to our queen, JLD.
Without JLD, there would be no us.
You know, us. The stars and creators of the critically acclaimed Comedy Central series, Broad City.
I mean, they know who we are.
Do they? There's a lot of silver foxes in the crowd tonight. It's not quite the demo.
Okay. They can definitely hear us.
Mics.
Julia, you lead the charge for authentic and flawed female characters in comedy. Every time you create a character, you open a door for another generation of funny young women to goofily walk through. You've given us permission to be bold, weird, and above all, lethally funny.
It's true. Women on screen too often exist to support and complement the male leads.
Boring.
Exactly. But Julia, when you created Elaine, you made the fierce choice to let her stand on her own. She chose herself over any man. This groundbreaking performance paved the way for our show.
One of your biggest talents, and the one that maybe has had the most influence on us, is the physicality you bring to each character. It's one thing to be funny, it's another thing for every cell of your body to vibrate with comedy.
Damn, I'm getting horny. Yes, horny, sir. Yes.
Me too.
It's weird, right? It's like not the place.
Yeah.
Or the time.
Okay.
Or the time.
Here we go. Julia, the way you physically embody each of your characters is an inspiration. The slapstick.
Oof.
The hijinks.
Ow!
The joy.
Yes!
The groove.
Yes! The shove. The shove changed my life.
And of course, the Elaine Dance.
I mean, legendary.
Julia has always shaken off the stiff and limiting postures of ladylike behavior, not only to make us laugh, but also to make us free.
And as such, Julia, we have a surprise for you. We've curated a very special performance with the prestigious Priori Dance Company to celebrate your contribution to the world.
Now, some people might think that it's too much to give a highly produced contemporary dance as a gift. But when the recipient is an empress, you have to bring your A game. The Elaine Dance is one of the most difficult dance techniques in the whole world.
I mean, think about what we've been tasked with here. We've got to get professional, gorgeous, eleganza dancers to dance some hideous moves.
Like really stiff when you get it.
Yeah, but be careful. But we tried for Julia. We tried for that JLD.
Flap that leg around. Make it confused. You got it? I don't know if you got it. Can you just like flip?
Abby's not happy.
Yeah, we get it. This is for Julia. Get on point and suck. You know, I need a break. Ilana, you take it.
Be funny.
Be funny. This is JLD,
I didn't think this was gonna be this hard.
Why did we hire professional dancers? Can you give me a second, please?
Whenever we hit some sort of rough patch, we ask ourselves, WWJLDD,
What would Julia Louis-Dreyfus do?
she'd dance.
We now present to you Julia Louis-Dance!
think anytime you win 11 Emmys and your name isn't Lucille Ball, it's impressive.
And the Emmy goes to, oh, it's one of the nice ones, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I have really fond memories, actually, of award shows with Julia because she was always game.
A bit overwhelmed. Oh, my God.
I remember being like, do you want to do a bit where we switch speeches?
I would like to thank NBC, Parks and Rec. There's one last thing written here. Isn't it a shame that Amy Poehler didn't win? What?
She was just always ready to do that. And of course, because she's awesome. And those award shows are dumb. Except for this one. This is the only one.
Interestingly, Julia has chosen to sit in the film section tonight.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia. You know us from TV. It is truly an honor just to be nominated for an Academy Award, and no, that didn't happen. You don't have anything?
I didn't think you'd win.
Okay, there's somebody very important not on this list in my mind, and that's going to come back to haunt me. But, I'd like to thank my family.
You love them so
and
much.
I love them so much.
Well, here's how the Emmys work. They have the Emmys every year, and Julia gets one.
I think it's great that she has some kind of guy that she can call who gets her an Emmy. That's cool.
The nominees for lead actress in a comedy series are Lisa Kudrow, The Comeback; Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Veep. And the Emmy goes to Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Veep.
But you saw that shot is from before they announced that Julia won, right? Because I was actually perfectly fine that Julia won. I was lucky enough to be nominated for an Emmy for a show I did. It was called The Comeback, and Julia was nominated for The New Adventures of Old Christine, and of course, Julia won. And no, I didn't feel bad, because it truly doesn't hurt to lose to Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I just refused to say your name. Good. The next day, flowers arrive with the nicest note from Julia. And now that is the most generous, gracious, thoughtful person I've ever met. Okay, so all I want to do is get in touch with Julia, but oh my God, I don't have her email or address. But no, that's okay, because Dan Bugatinsky, my producing partner, is Julia's good friend, and I can just get it from him. So I'm figuring out exactly what I want to write, and I get a call telling me that our show has been canceled. Oh, okay. So I get, a little distracted, because now, I have to make some calls and let people know or commiserate, right? So I called Dan, but I couldn't reach him. So I had to go to a doctor's appointment I had made. Why? I don't know, the day after the Emmys. But I'm in the waiting room, and Dan calls me, and before I can say anything, he says he's calling from a plane about to take off for New York because he just found out his father needs emergency brain surgery, and he didn't know that our show had been canceled. I think I made a good decision not to tell him, because it didn't seem like the right time to say, hey, Julia sent me the nicest flowers and a great note. Can you get me her address? No. So I get through the doctor's appointment, and it was my gynecologist who, by the way, let me know that day that my hormone levels in ovaries and eggs were like ancient, and I'll probably be starting menopause. So, okay. So then in 2015, 10 years later, we did a second season of The Comeback. What? And I still hadn't gone into menopause. But I was nominated again, and Julia was nominated for Veep. As you you saw, of course, Julia won. So the next day, I didn't get flowers from Julia because why on earth would she? You know, but just so you know, Julia, if I ever do anything again and I get nominated for it and you win, I wanted you to know I'm creating a safe space for you to send me flowers again. And I didn't tell you what the note from the flowers in 2005 said. The card read simply, "You were robbed, Julia." I know, oh my God. Well, this is the note I had prepared to send you in response. I mean, it's actually the hotel stationery, but I remember exactly the perfect thing that I was going to say, and it was, "Not robbed, Julia, honored, Lisa." And you probably want it. Like, it's a treasure, so.
From those old Navy commercials with Julia and Snoop Dogg, please welcome Kumail Nanjiani.
Thank you. I have had the great honor of working alongside Julia Louis-Dreyfus twice in my career, and I can tell you the experience was everything you wanted to be. Inspiring, hilarious, absolutely terrifying. Not because she's a scary person, no, because I am a scared person who gets very nervous when I'm asked to work alongside a legend. But Julia, you went out of your way to make me feel comfortable and welcome. I'm blown away by your talent. While she crafts incredible characters on screen, she exhibits exceptional strength of character off screen. She uses her voice to fight for the vulnerable. She's a brilliant leader and motivator. She knows how to get stuff done. She's, dare I say, presidential. So, okay, now hear me out, Julia. This is a big pitch. This is a big pitch. This is a big one. I've heard you say you never want to run for office, but I really think you should reconsider. I think you should run for president of the United States of America. And that is the subject of my Twain talk. Okay, here we go. Okay? So the first reason you should run for president is obvious. In Veep, Julia plays a VP who decides to run for president, becomes president when the president resigns, runs in an election which results in an electoral tie, wins the popular vote, loses the election, then decides to run for president again, which is actually much simpler than our current political situation. But people here are like, Veep is a TV show. That's not real political experience. There's no way someone without political experience could ever become president. I have an answer for that. Guess what is a massive asset right now? Being a Washington outsider. The insiders are out. Outsiders are in. She will deplete the marsh. She will empty the quagmire. She will siphon off the mud. No offense to almost everyone here. Now, not only would she be the first female president, she'd be the first president to have guest starred on Family Ties. Yeah. Julia, you don't want that honor to go to Tom Hanks when he runs in 2024. She'd be very good at answering questions without really going into details, you know? The deficit is growing, climate change is real, yada, yada, yada. We're invading Canada. Julia has the experience to deal with Congress because she already knows what it's like to get by clowns. I'm seeing you explain it to your mom right now, and I cannot believe it has not come up before today. And I want to be clear, that is from a GQ photo shoot. I did not Photoshop that. I'm not a pervert, although it is my screensaver. And finally, telling you exactly why she would make a great president requires a story. The first time I met Julia, I was on an episode of Veep with her. We were doing the scene, and then between takes, she pulled me aside and said, "Hey, Kumail, is it okay if I say something mean about your appearance on the next take?" I said, "Sure. What is it?" She said, "I'd rather just say it on camera." Do you remember this? Uh-huh. Back then, you never thought I'd be at the Kennedy Center showing a picture of you a clown. So she got my permission to say something mean, and on the next take, she said something to me that actually made it into the episode. Let's watch what she said.
If you have some white wine vinegar, that'll get it right
What?
out. White wine vinegar. Well, let's just stay.
You take your eyebrows and you get out.
Can we bring up that picture of the clown and Julia again? This brings us to the most important reason why she would make a great president. She is diplomatic. That used to be part of it. But you were diplomatic. You were able to say the funny, mean thing, but also prepped me so that it didn't hurt my feelings too much. Because that's what being a president is about. Screwing people over without having them feel bad about it. And she asked me before she did it, so she values consent. So I beg you, Julia, please run for office. But even if you don't, we are very lucky to have you. You've inspired me personally to understand that it's possible to be grounded, real, and hysterically funny, and that you don't have to be a dick to be a comedian. Thank you.
America doesn't just love you, ma'am. She is in love with you.
Do you think I look like a little boy?
A gorgeous boy.
I mean, a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Do you think that I'm ruthless?
No.
Enough?
Oh, enough?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you have just the right amount of grit in your oyster.
Huh? You're like Prince Charming.
He spent 7 seasons on Veep as Julia's right-hand man. Please welcome Tony Hale.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is a huge honor to be here tonight to celebrate my friend, Julia. I met Julia years ago when she was filming an episode of Arrested Development. I played the emasculated man-child Buster Bluth, and she played Maggie Lizer, the blind lawyer. Since then, Julia, of course, has continued to successfully develop different characters, while I continue playing different forms of emasculated man-children. And contrary to what people might think, I am not deriving that from any personal pain. Come to think of it, I think it's really silly when people confuse the characters that we play on TV with the people that we are in real life. For instance, the character that I play on Veep, Gary Walsh, he knows everything about Julia's character, Selena Meyer, her schedule, her diet, her fashion choices. I know nothing about fashion. Tonight, Julia's choice to wear an Oscar de la Renta gown paired with a Manolo Blahnik stiletto was 40% her choice. And yes, we fought over the pop of earring, but who doesn't? And people are always asking me how I feel about this being the last season of Veep. It's a job. I'll be fine. My identity is not based on this show. That's ridiculous. My identity is based on Julia. I will continue picking up her dry cleaning with my own. I will continue carrying her purse to Target. And I will continue my daily worship of Julia Louis-Dreyfus like I am tonight. This is a Tuesday for me. No, in all sincerity though, being here tonight and having the opportunity to celebrate Julia is the easiest job ever. I've had the privilege of watching her creative process firsthand for 7 years. And what she does on screen, it looks effortless. But behind the scenes, it's a very different story. Her commitment to meeting with the writers, to finding the perfect storyline, the perfect joke, the perfect timing, it's incredible. And that creative process can be really, really tricky sometimes and kind of chaotic. But the main difference with Julia is she consistently handles it with grace and integrity. Except there was that one time when I couldn't stop laughing during a scene, and she turned to me and she said, "Tony, you know you're not watching the show, you're in the show." So that was humbling. But honestly, Julia's talent, her success, her many awards are seen by millions. But I've been fortunate enough to see the friend. And in a business where sometimes kindness and treating others with respect can be lacking, Julia knows what matters and makes them a priority above everything else. So on behalf of the entire cast, I want to thank you for your example, friend.
She's a pleasure. She is just an absolute pleasure to work with.
Julia, take one. Maybe I should try some boob action.
Her personality on set is always fun, but she's down for anything. If it's gonna make it funnier, she's gonna do it.
Kiss me.
And for some reason, she always wants to find a way where she can take her clothes off. I don't understand that.
I learned every single thing that I think I know about comedy, about how to be generous with other actors.
There was one thing about working with her that I will never forget.
F you, sweet meat.
I was a starving actor, so she kind of forced the writers to write more stuff for me so I could make some more money. I just never forgot that. And since then, in my own life, I've never done that. I did not pay it forward, just so you know.
You know, the only reason I'm doing this is because you went with Audrey to the hospital.
She laughs more at everyone else. She's such a good audience.
Oh, there's no point in going. Julie is laughing.
Okay, can we go?
No,
yes.
she's laughing right
yes.
now.
We can go.
You know something? I call her Dr. Julia Louis-Dreyfus because she brings laugh and healing to everybody in the human race.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now, when we first started making my TV series in '89, we made the first episode. It was basically me, George, and Kramer. George was kind of a Larry David character. Larry had a funny neighbor named Kramer, so we threw him in. We used as little imagination as possible. All Larry and I really wanted to do was have two guys talk in an idiotic way about completely stupid things, which is not nothing. We did not want it to be about nothing. We wanted it to be about being stupid. Okay, so we make the first episode. I don't think anybody liked it that much. They eventually said, okay, you can make a few more, but you need a real female character. All you've got is 3 stupid guys. Now, in the TV network world of those days, when the network executives say, we have an idea to make your show better, it is always, without fail, without exception, the worst idea you have ever heard, which is not their fault. It's not their job to have funny ideas. It would be like if a geologist sent me out into the desert to find the mineral bauxite. I could never find it. I don't know what bauxite is. I'm not a geologist. Even if I found it, I would not know that I had found it. I can't tell one rock from another. This is why most TV sitcoms are not funny. Bauxite. If you're not a geologist, don't go looking for it. Anyway, when the network tells you what they think you should do, it is called a network note. The network has a note, is what they say. And in this case, we thought, okay, that's not a bad idea. We should have a real woman character in the show. We've got 3 stupid guys. Let's add a smart woman. That's funny. My point is, this person you see over here, Julia, how are you doing, sweetie? You okay? It's only a couple more hours. This person, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who agreed to do this part with 3 stupid guys and used it to launch one of the most brilliant and spectacular show business careers of all time, this person is a network note. That's what you're looking at. That is a humble beginning, which is also not nothing. Okay, so then we fleshed the idea out a little more. We decided, okay, let's make it a girl that Jerry used to date. It didn't work out, but was so much fun to hang out with. They decided to continue the relationship as friends. A completely absurd idea, could never happen in real life. It's a TV sitcom, it's good enough. Okay, so now as lame-o as all this is, I was still required as an actor to play this situation. That she and I were a couple, we broke up, there was this other aspect to our relationship that enabled it to survive, but without the romantic element. You know, there's some layers and complexity to that, and candidly speaking, way, way beyond any acting ability that I possess. So, how did I do it? Because obviously I did it. People bought it, they believed it, they believed the relationship, and I think it's fair to say the show went on to do very nicely. Here is how I did it. I just really, really liked Julia. I could not get enough of her. 9 years, I was not acting. I couldn't. I thought she was funny, charming, beautiful, intelligent. Every single second I ever spent with her, on stage and off, bingo, no acting required. Just read the lines in the script, 180 episodes, syndication, DVD, streaming, piece of cake. Now, after the show was over and I started seeing her on other shows, having relationships with other TV characters, I can't say that was the easiest thing for me to handle. I suffered quite a bit of fake pain from this fake relationship. But I guess somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that these are the things that were required of her to do if she was ever going to receive the Mark Twain Prize. So I accepted it, and I couldn't be happier for her that tonight she is here accepting this great honor. Congratulations, Jules. Love you.
Here to perform a song for Julia, her friend, Jack Johnson.
There is no combination of words that I could put on a postcard. There is no song that I could sing. I can try because this is your heart. And these are our dreams, and they are made out of real things. Like a shoebox of photographs, sepia tone love. And love is the answer, at least for most of the questions in my heart. Why are we here? Where do we go? How come it's so hard? It's not always easy, and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's so much better when we're together. Yeah, so much better when we're together. Look at them stars and we're together. Yeah, so much better when we're together. Yeah, so much better when we're together. And all of these moments just might find their way into my dreams tonight. But I know that they'll be gone if the morning light sings or brings new things. For tomorrow night you see, they'll be gone too. Too many things I gotta do. But if all of these dreams might find their way into my day-to-day scene, I'd be under the impression I was somewhere in between. With only two, just me and you. Not so many things we gotta do. Places we got to be, we'll sit beneath the mango tree now. Yeah, so much better when we're together. We're somewhere in between together. Yeah, so much better when we're together. Yeah, so much better when we're together. But I believe in memories, they look so pretty when I sleep. And when I wake up, you look so pretty, sleeping next to me. But there's not enough time, and there is no song I could sing. There is no combination of words I could say, but I will still tell you one thing, we're better together. We're so much better when we're together. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, David Rubenstein.
So, everybody had a good time so far? This is the 21st time the Kennedy Center has awarded the Mark Twain Prize. From the first awardee, Richard Pryor, to last year's honoree, David Letterman, the prize has gone to the country's finest comedians and comic writers. Individuals like Mark Twain, who made us see the lighter side of life and made us realize how important a sense of humor is to a full and pleasurable life. For that, we are all grateful to those individuals. And of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, a Washington girl, made good, is in this long tradition, and she too deserves to be on a Mount Rushmore of humor, if one is ever carved into the foothills of some mountain. And wouldn't it be good to have a woman on Mount Rushmore? So it's my great honor to present the 2018 Mark Twain Prize for American Humor to Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Thank you. Thank you very much. When Mark Twain first emailed me about the Mark Twain Prize, I have to admit I totally misunderstood. I assumed that I was being asked to honor somebody else who was receiving the Mark Twain Prize, and I thought, oh my God, what a hassle. I mean, seriously, who would put me through this? To have to go all the way to Washington, D.C., which, no offense, is a nightmare? And make up flattering things to say about how funny someone else is? No way. And then I reread the email and I realized, oh, it's me. They're giving it to me. I get the prize. And my attitude about the whole thing changed. It really did. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know what I was thinking. This is a great night and a great honor, and in beautiful Washington, D.C., no less. Anybody would be lucky to be a part of a night like this honoring somebody like me, right? As a great fan of the work of Mark Twain, I was so sorry when I recently learned he was dead. My thoughts and prayers go out to the whole Twain family, especially the wonderful Shania. Unfortunately, the President of the United States couldn't make it tonight either, even though he lives in the neighborhood Mondays through Wednesdays. I am so lucky to have been on television doing comedy for more than 35 years. Isn't that ridiculous? It's, you know, the really ridiculous thing is that I am just as good at drama. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's a little trivia. The very same week that I got cast in Seinfeld, I was being considered for the juicy little part of Portia in director Sir Peter Hall's Broadway production of The Merchant of Venice. Apparently, I didn't get the part since someone else eventually played the role on the stage. And, you know, of course, I'm happy that I didn't get that part, because if I had, I would never have played Elaine on Seinfeld, and without Seinfeld, I would not be here today. So, you know, it worked out great, totally fabulous, no regrets here, none at all, none whatsoever. Anyway, I think it's time for me to get into some serious thank yous. Abbi and Ilana, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Just to be completely clear, I gave an excellent audition for Merchant of Venice, okay? I mean, just objectively speaking now, I nailed it, okay? So I'm just a little confused as to why Peter Hall didn't cast me. That's all, that's all. I'm not upset, obviously, because I love comedy and I love my career. Where was I? Oh, yes. Keegan! Oh my God, Keegan-Michael Key. Thank you so much for being here on my special night. Look, Sir Peter Hall might have made a mistake, okay? My audition was Portia's speech about mercy. You all probably know this scene. I mean, obviously, I am not gonna perform it right now, because that would be a pretty weird tangent to hear Shakespeare intelligently and energetically performed in the middle of a comedy tribute to me. So, Kumail, thank you for being here. It is so inspiring that you were able to co-opt your wife's harrowing medical ordeal for an Oscar nomination. Bryan Cranston, you are a truly incomparable talent and a pleasure to work with. You know, when I think of us on Seinfeld, look, I'm just going to do it. You want to hear it, right? Yeah. I can do Shakespeare, okay? The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. And Stephen Colbert, my fellow Northwestern alum, thank you so much for being here. You were my every night hero when at 11:35 a nation turns its lonely eyes to you. Woo, woo, woo. Stephen used to play a manic conservative, and now he plays a depressed liberal. That is range, ladies and gentlemen. It is so great to see Lisa Kudrow here, setting me up just like in the old days when Friends would set up Seinfeld. And just like in the old days, Jerry's got all the money. And my darling, dear, sweet Tony Hale. If I weren't already married, and Bryan and Keegan weren't already married, and if you weren't already married, then I'd definitely get your opinion about any guy I was dating before marrying him. And Tina Fey, you are a comedy genius whom I admire above all humans. Tina was honored with the Mark Twain Prize, too, you know, before they got real serious about who they give these things to. And thanks to my wonderful neighbor, Jack Johnson, I was going to make a joke about Jack Johnson, but for the love of God, can't something remain sacred this evening? And finally, to my wonderful friend, Jerry Seinfeld. I learned a lot from Jer over the years, principally the importance of hard work. Jerry killed himself to make Seinfeld good. He and Larry David worked so hard, it is impossible to describe. And they didn't just do it to make the show successful, because once it was successful, they worked even harder. And I hope a little of that rubbed off on me. I grew up here in Washington, D.C., back during the quaint, old-fashioned rule of law period. Being funny was a big part of my growing up. My great-grandmother, Bessie, was the first person I remember telling jokes. She was in her 90s. And I was really little, and she would do these extremely repulsive impressions of her first grade teacher having life-threatening seizures. At least I think it was an impression. Anyway, either way, I realize now that it was offensive, and she was way, way out of line. But when I was 5 years old, hilarious stuff. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 3. Also hilarious. My mom is actually here tonight with 80 of her closest friends. Last year, I was lucky enough to get an Emmy Award for my performance on Veep, which was an incredible thrill, and it set some kind of a record for the most Emmys by somebody for doing something or other. And then, about 12 hours later, I was diagnosed with cancer, another hilarious turn of events. I'm only half kidding. Of course, cancer isn't at all funny, but a big part of dealing with it has been finding the funny moments. The old cliche about laughter being the best medicine turns out to be true. which is good because that's what the current administration is trying to replace Obamacare with. When I was getting my hideous chemotherapy, I'd cram a bunch of family and friends into this tiny treatment room with me, and we really did have some great laughs. Of course, I was heavily medicated and slipping in and out of consciousness, so I was probably a pretty easy audience. But my point is that laughter is a basic human need, along with love and food and an HBO subscription. There's no situation, none, that isn't improved with a couple of laughs. Everybody needs laughs. So the fact that I've had the opportunity to make people laugh for a living is one of the many blessings that I have received in my life. According to Wikipedia, I have 2 sons, Charlie and Henry. You know, when you're a working mother, you really worry about the time spent away from your kids. You try your best to be there as much as possible. But the truth is that you miss stuff, and you worry that they're gonna just get all screwed up and suffer all kinds of angst and neuroses when they grow up. And then you get the Mark Twain Prize. I gotta say, it's worth it. I'd also like to acknowledge my cherished husband, Brad Hall, who I didn't just marry because his name sounds like Peter Hall and it kind of felt like I was getting the part. No. Brad never fails to show up at events like this very one. He puts on a suit, he puts on a smile, and is the most supportive and present spouse in the world. No. Thank you. Thank you so much, dear Brad. Thank you. And finally, thanks to Mark and Mrs. Twain and to everyone who has participated in this exhausting evening. Thank you so much and good evening, and thank you.
So Julia, now that you've won the Mark Twain Prize, I think it's time for you and Brad to open up that marriage. Because everybody wants it.
I just want to see what you do next, you know, because I got the breast cancer first, and then she gets the breast cancer.
Come back the next 2 years and win the Twain. 3-peat!
I'm just waiting for her to come out. She's going to come out as a black gay woman.
You know, now that you have won the Mark Twain Prize, you can just tell everybody because in the words of the man himself, hello, I am Mark Twain, aka Samuel Clemens.
Watch this show online, enjoy additional web-exclusive content, and learn more about the Mark Twain Prize and its past winners by visiting pbs.org/Mark Twain Prize and join the conversation on Twitter using #PBSTwain.